Good evening, everyone. It's a post-lunch and post-tea session, so I know you all are wanting to, lighten up. It's the end of the day, but nevertheless, it's a discussion about technology, but more than technology, it's a discussion about future, and we are all interested to know that what's coming up next, right? So on this panel, we have Praful Mathur. He is co-founder and CEO of Vossel. And then we have Astha Verma. She is the Chief Operating Officer of Target Technologies. Following that, we have Mr. Manoj Tiwari, Vice President Corporate Sales from Trutech. And then we have Suhas Tejaskanda from Flying Wedge. And we have Aditya Mani from YOLOgram. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this discussion. So, only a couple of months ago, we had a discussion, those who were into the tech space, that the future of technology is AI, right? But just a couple of months, and now we know that the future is here. AI is in the middle of us. AI is how we are operating. Most of us have been using and leveraging AI for a lot of stuff. So how fast, going forward, do you think AI is going to percolate into every function that humans are capable of? Praful, let's start with you.
So your question is, how fast is it percolating into any of the fields, right?
Correct.
See, if you want to gauge any of technology percolating into any field, the first one to adopt anything is marketing, right? So if it starts with that, you are okay, technology is coming up, marketing is adopting that. But now when you see technology, especially AI, getting adopted even in manufacturing and in healthcare, is when you realize that all of the fields are now taking it up and they can see the value that this technology is adding to that particular field. It started with narrow AI, of course, so you would have your prediction algorithms, your recommendation engines, but now it is going even further than that. You have generative AI, and it will then evolve to evolutionary AI as well, which will not only predict what is going to happen or predict your tastes, etc., but it will also evolve and give you potential outcomes and help you judge which is the best outcome for healthcare, for any of the fields that you are adopting it in.
Astha, your space is defense. So beyond defense, what is the scope of AI and how fast do you think is the adaptability coming along, especially in a country like India?
First of all, thank you for giving me this question. Yes, I have worked in defense a lot, but AI is going to change every field, every industry we're going to look into. It's entering in a space where, we thought AI is only about prediction, as Praful clearly said. But AI is not limited to prediction. It's about having prognosis. It's about behaving and telling us what's going to happen and why it is going to happen. How do I control it? We are moving away from a business intelligence to a decision intelligence. And that's what's going to make a difference in absolutely every space we go. Today, we look into a structure and we can tell using AI if there's a subsurface crack. Earlier, we were using NDT techniques which used to take much longer for doing the same job. So AI is revolutionizing, it's changing, and we will feel the need in every aspect. Today, right from education, fashion, aerospace, defense, you name a field and it is going to be there. So we cannot ignore it, but we have to accept it in a responsible way. We cannot think that, okay, if AI is doing it, it's correct. Because ultimately, in most cases, when AI is dependent on the data, data can be biased. So we have to be careful in choosing what we are looking at. We have to be careful how I am training my AI. It's a very old saying, garbage in and garbage out. It started with the computers initially, but it's still valid today. So we need to have our cross-checks and balances. We cannot rely on data alone. We have to move to a model-driven technology which allows us with basics like physics, which cannot be changed. I mean, no matter what data tells me, but a physics will tell me if I throw an apple up, it will fall down. And that's how it's going to be. Thank you.
Manojji.
So for me, I see this as a logical progression. So data analytics has always been there. People were doing a lot of predictive as the technology grew. And then came big data analytics. And now artificial intelligence. And from the automation side, if you see, and I work with some of the large Indian enterprises very closely, in various sectors, manufacturing, automotive, and a lot others. What they are doing is, Gen AI, of course, is something which is revolutionary and came to our knowledge just about 2 years back. But people are doing a lot of machine learning algorithms. They are building a lot of use cases that are helping them. Automation has now gone to cognitive automation, where you are already using AI. It is like a bot doing a process automation and then figuring out a sub-process that requires no human intervention, and a bot can create another bot, right? So the world is moving there. So for me, it's kind of logical, starting from data analytics, going to big data, and then end of it, AI now, including Gen AI. Different customers have different applications of AI. So for example, I see a lot of computer vision, AI getting adopted in manufacturing and automotive industry. If you see tech companies, they're using a lot of Gen AI. Media companies are using a lot of Gen AI. So various, flavors of AI are getting adopted by the industry.
Suhas.
So I'm from defense tech. Defense is the sector where AI has to be immediately adopted, I would say. Because as we were discussing, the entire warfare is going to be unmanned, and we have learned that from the recent wars that are already happening, right? Israel, Gaza, and Russia-Ukraine war. Mighty Russia had to depend on Iran for the warfare, correct? Unmanned warfare with their Shaheds and various other things. In India also, I think we have to adopt to that technology as soon as possible, because I say one thing always: if you don't update, you get obsolete. So we have to move very fast. And in defense, there are various use cases, like not just arms. It's also about logistics management. It's also about health monitoring systems, the connected soldier, to various applications, the surveillance and reconnaissance missions. Right? We're also creating one bomber now. It uses again AI to it has some reinforcement learning where it can precisely detect the object using various algorithms and then bombard or strike the particular places. So yes, we have to adapt very fast in the defense sector. That works.
Aditya.
Thanks for having me here, and it's truly a great opportunity. So, if I were to unzoom and just look at the landscape of where AI is affecting us all. So from the corporate angle, we want to get more efficient, and we want, those are the usual use cases. From a personal angle, we want to also improve ourselves. So right from how a software is designed, so right from the user interface, you want it to be more natural. You want the language to be the way you speak. Like when you speak to ChatGPT, you don't need to know any kind of computer language. You can speak in the language you want. You can also speak in different languages because AI can know that. You can speak in a slang. So, the interfaces are going to get more natural. You're going to be able to speak to it. You're going to be able to see it like we do avatars. So you'll be able to see the embodiment of an AI as well. Within the program itself, every part of the program is going to have super intelligence. It's going to have the intelligence of an IQ of, say, an Einstein. And it's going to have access to, say, the data of the whole world. So, earlier when we made programs, it was based on, what a consulting company would do. They do some kind of research, tell you that this is how the programming logic is. And the logic is written based on certain understanding of what these people have done, which are business consultants. Now it's going to actually start searching through data and telling you, coming up with trends. So not just the analysis and the prediction, it will even come up with generation. So even like say the fashion world. Now if a bot has access to all the designs in the world, it can come up with designs which are more pleasing, which even the most avant-garde designer today is not able to think of, and can come up with based on, you know, and all your cultural influences and all of that. All of that is going to start to get imbibed into AI. And what we're going to do is, like, you know, like how we don't bother to remember numbers anymore. We have it stored in our phone. The same thing is going to happen. We're going to start relying on this intelligence, and it's going to be an augmented intelligence, where we're going to start to have this play between us and the machine. I don't have a very dystopian view of the future. I think it's going to be good for us. But I feel that we're going to start to accept it. And we are not going to fight it. I don't really think all our jobs are going to go away. We are going to use this, just like how when the internet came in, a lot of us didn't use the internet. But, you know, all the middlemen businesses continue to exist today. They've just adapted themselves. They've become into marketplaces. They've been able to reach out to their customers faster. Same thing's going to happen with AI. So I really don't have that dystopian view. I'm very positive, and I really think India is going to be the AI future, hopefully, of the world.
So Praful, taking this, taking a cue from what Aditya just said, because intelligence is going to be easily available, you know, do you think that's a threat? Because for a long time, the discourse has been whether AI is actually going to lead to a lot of layoffs, there will be shrinking of job opportunities, or will it just be a temporary thing before new sort of jobs get created? Because that's also the other side of the argument.
See, look at it from this perspective. We always overestimate in the short run and we underestimate in the long run. So because we overestimate in the short run, we are very fearful that in the next 5 years, next 10 years, everything will be toppled by AI, all jobs will be replaced. It is true to an extent. Of course, if efficiencies are increasing, if I can have one person do the job of 20 people, of course jobs are going to go. But because there will be newer arenas that will come up, newer jobs will be formed as well. But in the longer run is where we need to be more worried, not in the shorter run. We don't know where this all is going, what are all the potential solutions that will come up because of this. And I definitely see that we would get into a world which would be divided in two parts. One is AI enabled and the other one is not. And the one which is AI enabled will actually concentrate a lot of wealth towards it. So your answer is a yes and a no.
See, we've all came to know about AI in a large way because of generative AI, right? When ChatGPT came and we saw what it could do for us. But behind the scenes, a lot of work has been happening around artificial intelligence for over a decade, and quite seriously, especially in the field of defense, because as Astha is now currently working with the Indian Navy. So Astha, where in this sphere of Indian defense systems do you think AI is making a huge impact?
Well, defense has been adopting to AI much better than any other industry which I look into. But then again, any technology which you see in the world first came in defense. From Bluetooth to the ceramic which we use in our cars, that also came in defense first.
GPS.
I'm sorry?
GPS.
Yes, everything. So every new tech came in defense first, which got adopted, and now it became a common name. Similarly, in AI, I mean, we worked on certain projects where we have used to understand the structural health of a hull of a ship, which I cannot do to a merchant vessel any which ways in the first go. One, because merchant vessel is not interested. Two, they will not allow a new tech to be adopted first. So defense has been very, very encouraging, and not only in India, globally. So if you look into US defense, they have a department called DIU who focuses into it. If you look in India, you have IDEX programs under MOD. There are many initiatives where young companies are given an opportunity to showcase their technology, be it AI or AI related or any other for that matter. And today, right from adopting at a simplest level, like how an entry or identity management would be done, to looking into a complete warfare management, how different foot soldiers will be looking into how what's happening over the year. I would not be able to name it here, but what's happening over the year is being tracked by technologies like AI. So defense started adopting AI much earlier. First it was known as data analytics, then advanced analytics, and now we are talking about AI. So always the first adoption is going to be in defense. But yes, it gives root of it being used on a dual consumption. So what I do for an Indian Navy can be used by a merchant ship as well. And that's a great lead, because now I don't have to retest my system. I've done it in the toughest environment. And that's encouraging.
Suhas, you are also in this defense space / AI. When it comes to policies, and India, I think, has a program for artificial intelligence, but do you think that the adaptability is as fast as we want, or we are at the level at where we can do the best?
Okay. Do you want me to talk about the technology part at the policy level?
Yeah.
Yeah. So government has got a lot of good intentions, and a lot of programs are being roped in now. But somewhere at the execution part, we are lagging behind compared to the major powers that are there. It appears to be so strong, but we are still not there. We have to be so strong. Because just imagine, adding to what she said, suppose there is an unmanned warfare happening, right? What are you going to do? I mean, are you going to send one of your pilot like Abhinandan in your Tejas or MiG Bison? How many more sacrifices are you going to do? And for your question that you have asked previously, right? Does it cut down jobs? I definitely want to cut down army jobs, because how many more sacrifices do we want to do? Right? Enough of the sacrifices. Let's switch to the unmanned warfare, AI warfare. And I don't want to lose a single life. That's how, my company's tagline also goes like this: saving Jawans, serving Kisans with AI. So, and coming to the policy level, execution is what we are lagging behind a little bit. I'll tell you, a lot of places, right from the certification processes to the export policies, we have to be little, it has to be robust, but it has to be little lenient as well, and very quick. I'll tell you, FAA takes 10 days to certify your aircraft. But why don't we have a single aircraft in India built till date? Why don't we have an aircraft? Why don't we have a company like Boeing, Airbus, Lockheed Martin in India? I'm just asking you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been 75 years of independence. Don't we have money? Don't we have intelligence? We're talking about artificial intelligence here.
Right.
So, I don't know where exactly the problem is, but we have to get over this. And we need to build something for ourselves.
So while you were talking about, wanting to stop human elimination in the process of war, I think artificial intelligence itself is about, sort of separating the human process from the larger technological processes. So you at Hologram have been able to completely turn a human into a hologram. So, but what is the need for a human presence if it can just be anything else? I mean, why do you need a human presence when you want to perpetuate artificial intelligence?
It's a very good question. And we basically like to see life the way it is. So if it was just a chatbot coming as text, that's not very natural. So the AIs can speak to each other in patterns. So they can just exchange tokens, and they can educate each other, and they can even create their own language. So we still are, reliant on a language that we understand. And then from there on, we're looking at voice. But, for the more natural way of looking at it, you really need like that human face and all. We are very mindful of the fact that, that's how deepfakes are made, and we have to make sure that, it's clearly, it's a 3D avatar and not so realistic. It's not like a VFX kind of look where, you're not able to tell. But the idea is really about augmenting capacity. So, if I have an answering service where I'm able to, say have my website and an avatar of me is able to speak as a salesman, or say we work for the fashion industry, you can have salespeople, like there could be a Gucci showroom where me and my friend can go into a virtual Gucci showroom, and there could be an avatar that speaks in Hindi, even though it's an Italian store, and can sell me all the products and is trained on that. And that's really about augmenting personal capacity, being natural, being able to speak. So I can have my avatar speak to someone in Japanese. All of that is more natural and easier to do with this 3D augmentation versus me looking into a translator and speaking it out. So that's really where we're seeing it. We're seeing it in terms of personal augmentation, in terms of capacity building, being able to have these kind of avatars speak for you. So you're having a lot of these tech companies coming out where you can just feed in your text and it just speaks out your pitch to various people in different languages and things like that. So that's really how we're seeing it. And we're going to be embracing more of this because it's just going to make us more more capable and more powerful in terms of our reach and in terms of how much we can do. You can do it while you're sleeping, that your AI can do that for you.
Asta, you have been to the World Economic Forum where you have spoken or engaged on the subject of ethical use of artificial intelligence. World over, even Elon Musk has said that artificial intelligence is becoming so smart that instead of humans using it, it might just end up using humans in the long run. So what are the safety checks that India can start off with because we are onboarding onto this new technology?
That's right. The entire World Economic Forum this year was talking about responsible AI because, yes, the fear is there that what if robots take over? I mean, there was an old movie on the same concept. So we need to understand that how can a machine take over if I don't give him a connectivity, right? And very simply put, we are depending too much on cloud these days. Earlier, we used to have SD cards or phone memories. Today, we are storing it in cloud. We are having deep fake issues today, every now and then, because so much data is being pushed in cloud. Specifically, if I look into critical uses, like in defense, I cannot put that data on a cloud. I cannot put it on a storage. I have to do it on-premise. It may sound old school, but if I need to keep my information safe, I need to keep it with me without giving access. Our core product, which is the BrainBox AI platform, does not need any kind of internet connection for it to perform its work effectively. And which is a myth in AI because every time we talk about AI, the first thing we talk about is connectivity. And earlier I used to have this tagline which used to say, Apatti se avishkar, and I used it for many years for my company. People asked me why you use this. I said because thanks to the constraints on which I worked on, I've been able to derive AI which does not need a connectivity, which does not need a cloud. I don't need a huge storage space, and I can still give you what I'm giving. And how do I do this? I've just moved away from taking just data to models. For me, I work on physics-driven models. I'm sure there are many others who use various different kind of models. So we have to cautiously draw that line. That human-machine interface and human-machine trust has to be built and regularized. It needs to be checked cautiously at every single stage. Because yes, it's true, machine interprets, learns much faster. In fact, a quick fun fact, in a critical scenario, a human mind can only process 7 data points, right? But a machine can do 1 million, and that too on today's date. 5 years later, it may do much larger. So if I'm doing a processing that fast, I need to ensure where the cutoff is. And that is very, very crucial. So if we put a regulation today or we start thinking about it today, we have to find a way, how do I disconnect the AI application with the real world for it to take over? And that's exactly why we had this IBM Blue shut down way back in 2004, because machine was able to compute faster. Today, we are much better equipped because we have better technologies available. We have evolved, but we have to keep our checks on.
So I'll not take much of your time, but before I wrap, I would just like to, because India has this huge lot of problems, even as we are advancing technologically, we have a lot of problems yet to address, right? Be it health, be it education. So I'll take just one tip from you. Where do you think India should first implement AI in a large scale for creating solutions? Praful.
See, I think
A very quick response.
We need to train people on AI products so that we can first elevate the fear that is there right now. So that's the #1 factor.
I would say the manufacturing field. We have a great potential in that. And if I can put AI in manufacturing, what we face today is quality issues in India, and we go to every other part of the world. If I improve my manufacturing using AI, I will become the biggest supplier to the world.
Mr. Tiwari.
I will say 3 industries. One, of course, is manufacturing. The other one is banking and financial services. And third one will be retail.
Suhas.
Apart from defense and manufacturing, I feel I'm from Bangalore and I hate Bangalore traffic. So I want it to be in logistics. We can't expect Tesla type of cars because road infrastructure is pathetic in India. Airspace is regulated now, all thanks to Government of India and DGCA. And I want the flying cars to be there, which we're also making drones. I hope if AI comes faster there, I think we can fly to Delhi as early as possible and also avoid the traffic.
I would go with language. I think we have so many languages in India, and we are kind of like Europe that way. And also the fact that a lot of people are on the other side of the literacy or on the other side because they can speak, but they can't type, they can't write. And I would say enabling that would really unlock the power of the average citizen, unlock the power that we have, which is democratized, and suddenly you'll have our workforce instantly available if we're able to just unlock this power of language and voice. And you'll suddenly see the workforce increase a lot in India.
So I don't know about all of you, but I'm pretty surprised with how much India has already done in the field of AI, even when we are asking questions like, will AI take away jobs? Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for my panel on the stage, and thank you for hearing this out patiently. Thank you, everyone.
A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, we can't let our panelists and our moderator leave without a nice group photograph. Could you come back? Could you join us center stage? I'd request, of course, our team to remove the setup. Let's have a round of applause, our final panel for the day, and what a panel it was. A louder round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen.